Good afternoon. First of all, thank you all very much for giving an opportunity to talk in front of you today and for making time to attend this session. And thanks also to the organizers for giving us this chance as GreyOrange to present to you. As we are looking at this next-gen supply chain using robotics, I would like to take you through a set of experiences that we have had as vendors, as GreyOrange. Of course, as you see in our mission statement, it's very focused on the supply chain, and it cuts across a variety of industries that we will come to in a short while. We were founded in 2011, and of course, we have grown to 650 plus employees, and we have multiple patents against our name. And we have a wide variety of products under this scope. And as you see, we are spread worldwide. And in fact, on the Pacific coast, on the east from Japan to the west to the Latin America, we are currently having installations in Chile also in a very short while. So we cover the globe. We have offices in many places to cover the various regions. So I would like to focus today on what are the challenges that we see when we are talking to so many companies around the world. What kind of challenges do they face? How do we solve them? What kind of product portfolios that we need to maintain? That is the kind of problem statements that we work with. And how can we leverage automation to help our customers in solving their real business problems and gain operational and cost efficiencies. So, by the way, you may have many questions as you are listening here. For want of time, what I will do is I will focus on what I have, and we have a big booth right at the entrance. We will be very happy to talk to you over there. Please come by and we will have a good discussion on what your problems are and how we could help you doing that. Now, as we see from a cost perspective, we typically it leads to the manpower shortages, or you need skilled manpower, or you are using overtime because you are have to fulfill for the retail demands. For example, some of our customers operate 2 10-hour shifts and still go for overtime for their employees. So we are helping them make their things efficient. The other thing is there is a wide variety of SKUs. For our products, for example, deal with very small products to very large products, very small cost to very high cost equipments. All that is being dealt with by our products. The other thing that we also see is not just the warehouse by itself, the different pockets of that, but if we step back and look at the bird's eye view of the supply chain, how it is going from the production to the consumer, there we see a lot of inefficiencies, and how can we, and then several things get fragmented in terms of, let's say, inventory or effort, etc. How can we make that more efficient? And of course, in this process, what happens typically is at multiple points, people are touching it and doing something, and that may leads to a lot of inefficiencies from a supply chain point of view. Now, so let's say that we will take a couple of cases just to give you a flavor. When you are at the inbound in your warehouse, when your stock comes in, and if it is mixed with multiple SKUs, let's say the same SKU, same case, when I use the word SKU, please read it as SKU, the stock keeping units. And so first the job is to segregate that to make sure that you can account for the items. You have the dimensions and the weights and the count of the number of items that are getting into your stock. The other thing is, once you have sorted this, of course it's a very intensive manual labor. That's what typically happens, especially when we are talking about hundreds and thousands of SKUs coming in into the warehouse or the inventory coming in. So it takes a lot of time to process, and as the operators, normally the human errors creep in, but as they tire out as the day progresses, more and more errors creep in. How can we help companies do that in a more predictable manner? So we have, for example, a sortation solution. In fact, our sortation solutions, we have a wide variety. We'll come to that in a moment. So suppose you use sortation at the inbound in this particular example and sort out those SKUs into the unique SKUs, segregated. And that way, you also get a SKU level profile. You have captured that. It is equivalent of the better quality check process as you are pushing it into the inventory. And how do we automate the entire process? Now, the other thing is, this is what we talked about. If we step back and look at the supply chain by itself, from, let's say, the factories that produce the goods, the finished goods are going in, they typically hop multiple steps before they reach the final consumer. Now, if you see that orange box on that screen, you see this is where a lot of inefficiencies build up, the cost builds up. And so it goes to from the factory warehouse, then it goes to the distributors, then the retailers. At each of these, you are doing different types of processing. And what can we do if we have to deal with this? So as you see, there is a lot of fragmentation. Let's say that instead of keeping your inventory at single place, if we distributed some in the factory warehouse, you see, and some in the distribution centers, some with the retailer, etc. So you don't know, you lose track of that stock at a central level. So what we look at is, to eliminate this fragmentation, how can we use the power of robotics to combine the stock, deal with it at a central warehouse, and maybe combine that in a manner that can directly go to the retailers, so that the intermediate centers are simply cross docks. You don't need to open cases, break bulk, recombine, etc. before you push it out. So if it is done in a central manner, ready to be consumed by up to the retailer level, and distributors are simply pushing that stock into the chain. So now when we do that, the in-between, as we said, are becoming cross docks, and so what we have done in this process is, your fragmentation has been eliminated in the chain, your costs and the touch points have been reduced, so your operational costs will also become better, in addition to the overall efficiencies that are building up in the overall supply chain. Now we use our goods-to-person robotics, which is called Butler. Earlier I talked about the sorter at the inbound. Now I'm talking about the Butler from an order fulfillment point of view. This is a goods-to-person robotic system. For example, our sense is that if there is a manual pick, you may be doing, let's say, 50 to 80 picks per hour. We have heard a maximum number of 100 if people manage to squeeze in. We would like to hear your experience as well. But we can easily gain 6 times that number using these kind of robotic solution. That is what our customers tell us. And when we do this, let's say, as we go down the chain, as you take the warehouse from the inbound, you have as it arrives at the docks, it goes through the quality check. You can use, for example, our products like Profiler, which helps you clearly take physical dimensions and weight, and you can use the sorter at that stage to segregate the SKUs, push it into the stock using our Butler-based goods-to-person robotics. And when we have full inventory tracking, we guarantee that order fulfillment accuracy, in inventory traceability are all in 999s at least, using our accuracy with a combination of hardware and software solutions. And then, of course, when you have done the pick of those items, it is, we also can integrate the packing stations along with that. So because we have been working with, for example, multi-brand retailers or specialty retailers, for example, cosmetics, home improvement, home furnishing, and a wide variety of industries like that in the retail segment as well. So we find that these are all very applicable for them in that space. And our solutions are all very flexible to do the pick and pipe operation. And so I will just give you a flavor of these products, how they look. We will be happy to talk more. So this is the Butler product, which complies with the CE marking requirements, has multiple levels of things. And our sortation product has from few hundred pick sorts per hour, they can go up to 18,000 sorts per hour. And we have multiple solutions for that, the linear sorter, cross-belt sorter, etc. So this way, and then we have a profiler. And what we could do is, please go through the retail white paper that we did in collaboration with the RAI last year. It is available on our website. And if there are any questions, please come and talk to us. Appreciate the chance that you have given me to talk today. Thank you very much.